Hey everybody, Jessica Morrison, Realtor here with Ferris Property Group. I am super excited to be here today with Aaron Osman. He is with Epcon Communities. And Aaron, I am super excited to learn more about new construction here in Westfield. Please tell us a bit about the two communities that you guys have to offer.
Yeah, hey, I really appreciate it, Jessica. Happy to be here, answer any questions that you have. We have two new communities. Let me tell you an introduction about Epcon. I actually have a slide presentation that I set up. So if you don't mind me sharing my screen and going through that, it'll take a few minutes, shouldn't be too long, and we can go through that and answer questions as we go.
I think that's perfect. And I think our audience will always love visuals. So go for it.
Awesome. All right, let me share my screen. Possibly. Share screen. Let me pull up the presentation. Let me know if you can see it. I'll pull it up right now. Can you see it? You got it?
Uh-huh.
Okay. Okay. Well, the first thing I have is pretty simple. Meet Epcon Communities in Indiana.
Hold on. We're looking at Zoom as a
Oh, you are
screen.
looking at Zoom? Okay.
Yes, the Zoom page. I can see your screen, just not, I think, the screen that you're intending.
Okay, well, let me do this. All right, let's try one more time.
Practice makes perfect.
Right. Let's.
There we go.
Okay. Okay, here we go. All right, let me go back to the beginning. Okay, can you see it?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Meet Epcon in Indiana. Let me start out. We have 4 people. We're a new community here in Westfield and in Carmel. Epcon is a new builder to the Indianapolis area. Epcon started about 36 years ago. They're in 31 different states, but we just recently moved to the Indianapolis area in our 2 locations, like I said, Westfield and Carmel. We have 4 salespeople. If you're looking at the slide right now, you'll see myself, Aaron, and then there's Dan. He's in Westfield with me. But remember, this is important. All 4 of us can sell any community, so we cross sell. So if you have somebody you want to work with that you, and hopefully it's me, but whoever it ends up being, we can sell any community. So there's Eric Clark, Jessica Hawkins, Dan Tolbert, and myself, Aaron Osman. So Epcon, an introduction. What sets us apart? It's people, product, and lifestyle. The first thing you'll learn about Epcon is we are a luxury ranch style, low maintenance community. You'll see in the slides, I put courtyards, not patios. We do things a little bit different. If you go to any of the patio communities here on the north side, Hamilton County, you'll see the homes are a square home with a patio behind. You'll see in our homes, we do not put patios at the end of the house or behind the house. We want a private courtyard. So we actually, and I have a few pictures, we build the house around the courtyard and we have center courtyards. So the patio is not at the back of the home where you look across and you see the neighbor, or you stand out in your patio and you see 20 houses down, you can see all the patios. We actually have private internal courtyards. It's a big key difference. I call it a lock and leave community. It is low maintenance, yard, snow removal, weeding, landscaping, everything's taken care of. So if you want to go to Florida for 3 weeks, lock and leave, have that lifestyle, you can go. We still believe in choice. You'll see in this market, a lot of builders are doing everything's included, or they're building a lot of spec homes, and it is what it is. We still believe in choice. We have close to 1,000 options and you get what you want. So you walk into the community, you say, I want that home site. I want to pick my options. I want these cabinets and this type of flooring. like I said, thousands of options, and you can put and build the home the way you want. Your client's future home site is not left to chance. We don't do lotteries. We don't put 3 people on a house and the next one gets it if the first one doesn't. You come in, you get to pick your lot, you get to pick your home site. We're not doing lotteries. It's first come, first serve. And then there's me. I always say one of the important things is if you go to buy a Mercedes-Benz, right, it's a great car, but what part of that experience is when you go into the showroom or you go back into the service area, it's the way you're treated, where you have people that take care of you. So Epcon puts a lot into service. We always want to make sure you're treated like you're at the nicest area in the nicest showroom. So you'll see a lot of service oriented behaviors. It's something we really focus on. We have 2 communities, Courtyards of Carmel and the Courtyards of Westfield. We are at Town and 146th. So if you're at 146th and you just go north on Town, we're the first community right there. And then we are also off Keystone and Smoky Row. We start in the 400s in both communities. So single family, low maintenance, all ranch homes in Westfield and in Carmel starting in the 400s. We're privately owned. If you're looking at the slide right here, you'll see our 2 owners. The reason I put this slide in here, I think it's really important to know that Ed and Phil actually, they come to Indianapolis every month, and they'll drive into the community and they'll see this and they'll see that. And they're like, let's make sure this is squared up. They take so much pride in their communities. Like I said, we're a pretty big builder. We're in 31 different states, new to Indianapolis, but we're still privately owned. And when you have 2 gentlemen that take such pride in their business, I'll give you one quick example. In one of the Columbus, Ohio communities, I know that they pulled in, we do clubhouses and pools, and amenities are very important to us. They didn't like the way the concrete was laid in one of the pool areas. They said, pull it all up, redo it. It cost them almost $70,000, but they wanted it to be perfect. So that's how they take care of their community. So when you buy or even come into an Epcon community, you're going to notice how well it's put together, from landscaping to curb appeals to the clubhouse. They take such pride in that, and that's filtered all the way down to the salespeople. Next. Again, I talked about this a little bit. This is a slide here that shows all the different states that we build in and all the different communities that we've built. We've sold 35,000 homes. We have over 450 different communities we've developed across the United States. So we're a very experienced builder with a long, fantastic history. Our communities, one thing you're going to see that separates us also, I was talking about Ed and Phil a second ago. They have a way to go to market. Our communities are always purposely sized. And what I mean by that, you'll see a lot of 55 and older communities, or communities even in Westfield that are very large, 500 houses, 600 houses. Here in Westfield, we're 89 homes. We know that people want to have a single family home, but they also want to be they want to go to the pool and not have 500 people around them. So we think purposely sizing our communities, making them a good size where you're not overwhelmed when you go to the community pool or you go to the workout facility. I already touched on this, but landscaping, green spaces, walking trails, ponds, locations. These are things that we put a lot of stress into, a lot of foresight. We want to make sure every community is very well planned. It has beautiful landscaping when you come in, green spaces. We put walking trails throughout. We'll have 2 ponds, and we're located in the best areas in whatever market we're in. That's why we wanted to be in Hamilton County. Low maintenance, HOA maintained amenities. So we're going to have a clubhouse. You can see a little, if you're looking at this slide, you can see a picture right now of the clubhouse. It's going to have a pool. It's going to have an outdoor fireplace, outdoor kitchen, tables. Inside, it's going to have a full workout facility with free weights and walking machines, a full kitchen inside. We're going to have pickleball courts, walking trails. We really try to set the community up as a lifestyle community. If you're looking at the slide, here's a picture of the pool, outdoor fireplace, tables. And again, all this in a community under 100 homes. So you're going to have access and the ability to enjoy without huge crowds. Our product is driven by research. We're 55, the 55 plus community market driven. We found out that, I'll step back for a second. About 8 years ago, our two owners that I showed earlier, Ed and Phil, did one of the largest market researches for the 55 and older community. They found out they want private homes. A lot of them don't want to be in a condo or a patio or paired home. They want privacy. They want ownership, single family, but they also want low maintenance. And that goes back to our courtyards. We found out through our surveys, and I think we surveyed over 300,000. I was told it was about that, and it's one of the largest in the history of the 55 and older community. So the biggest thing they said, they want to own the home, but they want privacy, and they don't want to be touching the home next to it. That's why we did our private courtyards. I'll get into those in a second. It's pretty unique. They want lifestyle. They want to be able to go to Florida or go out west when they want to, so lock the home and leave. They do want no stairs architecture. So this is something pretty cool that we do that even other 55 and older communities don't always do. So we call it a no step entry. So we put a little bit of a slant like in our garage. So it's a 2.5 car garage, and it's a really subtle slant from where you pull in to where the steps are or to where you go into the house. So instead of walking and have that one step up, it's totally flat. So we have no steps anywhere in our houses. We also know that as you age, your eyes lose light. A lot of times you'll have to be in a dark restaurant with the menu and get the flashlight out or something because our eyes naturally lose light. So when we build our courtyard homes, we put transom windows all the way around the courtyard, and we put them mostly around the house. You'll see the house has a lot of abundant light. If you're looking at this picture here, you can see the picture at the very top of how we do the tall, large windows. We want natural light to flow into our house. We have open plans, they're entertaining. Again, I talked about the personal options. We feel if somebody's going to build a luxury ranch home, they deserve to put what they want in it, not told what they have to do, not this, either this or nothing. You can actually get in your home and build it the way you want. Our next slide, I talked about the patios. If you look at the top picture up here on the left, you'll see the courtyard. This is a roof view, but basically that's the living room, kitchen, and the master bedroom built in a C, if you can see that, around the center courtyard. So you'll have a courtyard in the middle of the house, not in the back of the house, and then privacy around that courtyard. And we want the house, every room in the house, you can see into the courtyard. It's pretty cool, different design. The picture next to it, picture next to it shows the courtyard, top left. The bottom, sorry, top right, bottom left, again, shows how the house opens up into the courtyard and then all the natural light in that. We want beautiful designs. So big kitchens, we do gourmet kitchens. If you notice this kitchen, the top left picture here, these cabinets go all the way to the ceiling, 10-foot ceilings. And This is our gourmet kitchen. If you look real closely, you can see the cabinets at the very top are glass cabinets, and they have lights in the cabinets, so you can kind of see out. Very beautiful. The next picture on the top right shows one of our western walls. You can kind of see how that courtyard that I've talked about multiple times is in the center, but we can put a western wall, or sometimes people call it a California wall, where we'll put like a 15-foot glass door where you can slide it all the way open and have the indoor and outdoor become one space. Very cool option. Barn doors, sitting rooms off the master, vaulted ceilings. These are just some of the features. Courtyards of Carmel, starting in the 4s. You might do your research. I don't think there's another production builder in Carmel proper. This community is 1.8 miles from downtown Carmel, right off Smoky Row Road. So less than 2 miles from downtown Carmel, a production single family home that starts in the 400s. So fantastic location, luxury line, but still an affordable home. This is a location. Again, it's just showing you the community and then how far we are. It's 1.8 miles from Clay Terrace, a couple miles from the Arts District. It's really in the center. This is our community, another layout of the Carmel location, and just shows you our first section. So these are our homes that we've just released. We started selling at the very end of the year. We opened 30 lots in our phase 1. We've sold 20 of our 30. So it's moving. Model and clubhouse should be open this summer. First home should be done this summer, going into the fall. Delivery dates summer of 2022 to early 23, depending on when you buy, starting in the 4s. Courtyards of Westfield. 89 home sites right here at town at 146th. Again, convenient location. This, if you're looking at this slide, it shows you we're just 8 minutes from Clay Terrace. We're within 5 to 6 minutes of shopping and Kroger and Urban Vines and a lot of things. Again, centrally located. Here's our first release. 25 lots. We are going to have a lake, walking trails, and we've already sold a half dozen or so in this community already. Again, delivery late summer, early fall, depending on when you buy. To our realtor partners, we do pay a total of 3%. So that's on the total price of the home, including options. So we take care of all the realtor expenses. If you have an agent or if you are an agent, we take care of that for all agents. So the homeowner isn't responsible for any cost to the agent as a buyer. And to our realtor partners, I just wanted to say, we appreciate you. You're the lifeblood of our business. And we would love to partner and bring more people in. I will stop sharing. That's my presentation, and I'll give you a chance to ask some questions.
Had myself on mute. I said, that sounds great. I am curious if you do that research and you expand it to multiple ages. I feel like there's a growing number of people who are more sustainably minded. And I feel like that division is happening between people who say they want a lot of acreage to have a small hobby farm. And then there's people who recognize, maybe young professionals, they don't have the time to upkeep a property. And I've seen some discussions happening where there's community gardens or this concept of sharing things like tools, or in this case, it's provided with your lawn care, which I think is a really great resource. So I'm curious, if you did expand that research, how many more people would want to take advantage of a product like this? Because I do think that the courtyard concept is incredibly unique. And I wouldn't be surprised if some of the feedback that you got from when people asked about the patio being on the back of the house, that objection to I don't want my neighbors to be watching what I'm doing. So I love the privacy aspect that this community offers. And I think it's amplified even more because traditionally speaking, older generations are more private. We do have, I would love to see psychologically where younger people have been more willing to share what would be perceived as private information or sensitive information, thinking it's no big deal. And there's pros and cons to that, but I'm happy to hear that that need for privacy is being met in this community. So to reiterate, you have 89 home sites available at your Keystone and Smoky Row location. Is
that 89 home sites in Westfield, the 100.
Oh, okay.
The one in Carmel is a little over 100.
Okay. So I feel like there's a disconnect sometimes that happens when you have large production builders who do as many home sites as what you guys do across the country. And as a result, you tend to lose some of that customization, which you've shared is not the case. How do you provide, logistically speaking, that boutique feel of an experience? And when you say thousands or close to 1,000 different options, walk us through, if someone walked into your model home today and they wanted to design a house, what is realistic for them to expect in that customization?
Great question. I want to answer a couple things. So I'll answer that, but also the Westfield community is 55 and older, what we call recommended. So it's not restricted. You have some communities that are 55 and older restricted. We do, so there isn't really an age restriction. So you were talking about young professionals, that we can have anybody move into this. Now, some people you were talking about acreage and yards. You won't get that in this community, but you will have, if you're a young professional and you don't want that, you can get a private courtyard and still move into this community. The one in Carmel is age restricted. So it's an 80-20 split. That means 80% of the people who move into that community will be 55 and older. But there are opportunities. If you are under 55, you can still move into that. In fact, we had a family recently. So there is opportunity in both communities. If you're a young professional, you don't have to be over 55. So there's space in there to answer that question. As far as customization, we are a production builder. If you were to go out and try to build a custom home in Carmel right now, it would be hard to do it under $1 million, right? It really would be hard to do it under $1 million. So there's certain things you can't change, but I would say as far as any other builder that I've shopped, and I've been in the business a long time, you have more customizations here. And we will bend over backwards to try to do what you want. I've seen it. We do have limitations on that, but every home that we build, patio home, you can add a bonus room to. So over the garage, you can do bonus rooms, third bedrooms, fourth bedrooms, wet bars. As far as like kitchens are concerned, we probably 50 to 75 different types of cabinets, probably 50 different types of granite. You can go from 30-inch cabinets to 54-inch cabinets to under lighting. Somebody says, oh, we want slow drawers. We can put slow drawers, the slow close drawers on them. The western wall or the big glass walls. You can add sitting rooms, change the floor. I mean, you can pretty much customize as much as a production home. You can customize. I think you won't find another builder at the production level and cost that will customize as much as we do.
So when you say customization, does that allow for people to potentially adjust a floor plan, or are your floor plans flexible to where you can? I know you mentioned adding rooms and the western wall concept, but if someone had a floor plan that they really liked, and maybe it was similar to one that you had, but maybe they wanted to move the location of the fireplace or add a wall or take a wall, add and subtract different features from specifically within a structural blueprint, do they have that flexibility, or are your floor plans set?
They have some flexibility. For instance, one of our plans, the promenade, it's 2 bedrooms with a large den. That den, we can, if you want to enclose that wall, we can enclose it, put a closet, make it a 3rd bedroom. You can add a wet bar in there and make it kind of a bar. So we can make it an office. We can also help make it a dining area, enclose it to make closed walls to make it a bedroom. So you have that kind of flexibility on certain rooms in the house. The primary bedroom, we have like 3 different bathroom options you can choose from. You can add a patio off the back. You can add a covered screen porch off the back. You can put a sitting room or a coffee room off the back of the primary bedroom and connect that to the courtyard area. So it's all encompassing. Lots of cool things we can do. Are we going to knock down an entire wall? Probably not, but we have all this stuff already pre-built into the plans where we have options on most rooms.
That makes sense. So with your HOA concept of all exterior maintenance included, usually if something sounds too good to be true, it usually is. And so I think the price point's incredibly attractive. You mentioned a lot of amenities included, and I'd love for you to list those, but do we have an estimation of what that HOA fee will be every month?
Yes, we do. So it includes your landscaping, snow removal, weeding, fertilization, trying to think of pretty much the entire exterior, except the interior private patio area. That is not, if the landscapers won't get in there. That is a private area that you can do with what you want. We have had people put in artificial grass back there, or koi ponds, whatever. But outside of that, everything is taken care of. We also have a clubhouse that's going to have a workout facility, treadmills, free weights. In the clubhouse, lots of tables, full kitchen, banquet area. It's a double-sided fireplace. So on the back side that goes outside, there's a fireplace with a big covered area with outdoor kitchen, tables, and then a large size pool. It's going to have a pickleball court behind that you can play pickleball, walking trails, green areas, little park areas. It's $225 a month, covers everything, which I think is really good because I own a single family home and I'm a busy professional. So I have a guy that mows my grass every week. I pay $50 a week too. So I pay $200 just for lawn care every week. For $225, you get that, all the other stuff, plus all the amenities.
Are any utilities included in that fee? Sometimes trash, or I can't think of anything else at the moment, but trash is usually sometimes one that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, trash, and that trash pickup, but all the electricity and all that for the clubhouse is included, but that would be the only thing.
Yeah, that makes sense. So I noticed you said that you were building into 2020, end of this year, 2022. It's still hard to believe that we're already at that year date, but building into 2023. And I feel like with the more customizations, there is a longer lead time with building. How have your contractors set you up to succeed with honoring an estimated build completion date? And what does that look like? Maybe are there any spec houses in this community, or is everything custom? And how does that custom timeline look?
Great question. 2022, the last 2 years, it's a good, let me step back. It's a good problem to have. Indianapolis is one of the fastest growing home markets. We have a lot of tech companies moving here. Salesforce started it a few years ago, but it's an up and coming area. And Indianapolis and its surrounding areas are just booming. That's put a strain on housing. It's also put a strain on building. There are a lot of builders that are taking a year or so or more to deliver homes. That's just the market we're in right now. We're new. We just started building. We do have commitments from our builders right now and our subs. The good thing is We've been doing this for 30 years or longer, so we know how to do it. We've set up really important relationships in the area. We have been told that we're about from signing, breaking ground, putting the foundation in to closing, we're somewhere between 6 to 8 months right now. That's a firm commitment. Again, whether you get a week from now, a big snowstorm moves in, we hope that doesn't happen. But if you remember last April, we got crushed in April. You never know with weather and what can happen. There's all kinds of things that can happen. But right now we're in a pretty good shape to be able to build a home in about 6 to 8 months.
Which is really impressive for a custom build. Usually customs take closer to at least 9 months to a year or more, depending on, are they having to put a driveway in or, a long driveway if it's acreage, well and septic for a truly custom home site. There's some advantages with your lead time there with it being a planned unit development. But I guess in wrapping up our time together, Aaron, what are 3 things that you think people should look for in evaluating communities in our local area as it compares to your community? And then what are 3 tips that you would give them when building?
Great questions. Great questions. I'll give you 3 things that a lot of people don't think about, but they should. So if you're going out to buy a new home, buying an existing home, it's different. But if you're going to buy a new home, you have choice. One thing you should look at is community size. I think a lot of people, first thing they want to do is go look at floor plans. They have a field, and living in a home does have a field. But you wouldn't, I've been doing this almost 30 years. You wouldn't believe the amount of people that bought a new home. 2 years later, they come to a new community. I've heard it my entire career. They've said, I just didn't realize building in a massive community, 300 homes, 500 homes, how much traffic there is, how many going to the pool or at the park, or these communities are just packed. And they're like, it's just so many people. That may be good for somebody. They want to be in a large community. I don't think a lot of people focus on community size. And that, I think people should take that into consideration because it will affect your life for as long as you live there. The amount of traffic, the amount of people, and the size and the feel of the community. I think that's an important one. I also think that you should think when you're building a house, what type of lifestyle do you want to live, right? People, again, they want to look at floor plans and some options, but what about your lifestyle? Like, do you want, we're a lifestyle builder. Do you want to live in an area or a lifestyle that allows you to have more time? One thing that you'll see in 2022 that we've lost a lot, but we've lost a lot of time. We're busier than we've ever been. People are moving and shaking, and we've got 20 obligations all the time. Where's the time go? And sometimes you just want to have more time. A community like this allows you to have more time. It has a different lifestyle. People don't think about how much time owning a home and having acreage, how much that takes away from all the other things you can do in your life. So think about lifestyle. So I would say those are 2 big things. And also area. Think about resale value. We've gone over resale as a company. We do a lot of research. We're research based. On average, we average 5.1% growth a year throughout all our communities across the United States. So we're really strong on resale value. I'd say those are 3 things. If you're in the market to buy a new home, I get this a lot. People come in and they're like, man, I could have bought this home 3 years ago for $100,000 less. I just don't know if now's a good time to buy. And here's what I'll say. The best time to buy a home was 5 years ago. It really was. And 5 years from now, you'll be saying the best time to buy a house was 5 years ago. So it's always better to buy a house 5 years ago, but we don't have time machines. But if you think waiting is going to help, I just saw we had in this area, we had 18% appreciation in homes over the last 12 months. It's expected to be about 10 to 15% this year. So, I'm going to wait a year, you're going to pay 15% more. Every time you think waiting is going to benefit you, throughout the history of the United States, that's only happened one time, and that was 2009. So don't think that if you hold back, you're going to get the best deal. The way the housing market in Indiana is moving right now, the best time to buy is now, and it won't be a year from now. So think about that. It is a very important thing. So be ready when you go out. When you go out, be ready to buy. It's a competitive market, and it's not getting any less competitive. Those would be my suggestions to those questions.
That's great feedback. I love hearing the same thing that I tell people reiterated through someone else from a different source, because it's, I think a lot of times it can just be hard for people to accept a hard truth. And yeah. I think there's the reality that buying a house is a big leap of faith. It's a big commitment. It feels intimidating. And I think that's why it's incredibly important to partner with someone who helps walk you through that process comprehensively, explains contracts, helps you understand not only what you're signing, the entire process up front. Because this is an emotional, I hate using the word transaction, but it is a transaction. You are spending a significant amount of money, especially at this price point. For empty nesters who typically are that demographic. My final question, Aaron, it's going to be brief, but we've seen a rise in private equity firms or hedge fund managers producing or purchasing large communities or getting into the rental market. Do you have any restrictions for rentals in your communities?
I would have to double check.
Okay.
HOAs, I don't know that. But that I will tell you, we haven't had any investors.
Yeah, I would be surprised if you did, because the price point is really high, that most investors would be deterred by that. But I think that is something when people are looking to get into, if they've moved from a community where they have a lot of privacy from acreage, and if they are moving into a community like what you're describing, having that assurance that it's only going to be owner occupied, I think is helpful. But again, I think the price point's a deterrent enough. But I think our audience would love your feedback, and feel free to comment on the video just as soon as you have that news for those watching.
I'm happy to do it, but you're exactly right. We're not a square foot builder. Most investors want to buy the most square footage for the least amount. That is not who we are. We're a luxury builder. You're not going to get the most square footage for the money. We build center courtyards around the house. If you notice, they have a lot of 45-degree angles. It is architecturally appealing, and that's where we build. We're not a square footage builder, so we're not the sweet spot for investors.
I would agree with you. I just think it never hurts to double check that information, just because 2021 has definitely proven that you can expect the unexpected with certain things. So for those watching, your next step would be, if you would like to schedule a consultation with Aaron and myself, we can do that over Zoom, or schedule a time to walk through the communities, or sit down in person. You're welcome to schedule a consultation or meeting in the description of this video. If you would like to visit the website for Epcon Communities, I will also have that provided. Just please note that if you would like to work together, please make a mention online. And this goes for any builder, that if you are working with a realtor to, again, make sure that that relationship is noted, so that the sales representative can include us in all of that communication. Aaron, thank you so much for your time this afternoon. It was a pleasure to get to know these communities more. And any last closing remarks?
I just want to say thank you for doing this forum. I think it's unique, but it gives such an insight to the community, and also for people out there, whether they're other agents or somebody looking to buy. It's a fantastic resource for them. And thank you for doing it. It's a very cool. I invite anyone to come out. If you see this, if you want to come out, look at the homes, get more information, mention Jessica's name, come talk to me. Again, the most important thing for me is service. And as Jessica said, it's a big commitment, but I will make this a smaller commitment, as far as you will not go through any steps without knowing exactly what you're getting into, how it works, and I will make the process easy for you.
Fantastic. Well, thank you so much, Aaron, and thank you everyone for watching.
Thank you.